What you're looking at right now is a group of extremely talented, hardworking, and beautiful gamers. These teams are considered the upper echelon of Counter-Strike esports. And in honor of the recent IEM Dallas event and the upcoming Austin Major, I'm going to tell you all you need to know about the top teams in Counter-Strike right now.
Team Vitality!
Let's start with the greatest team in recent history, Vitality. They have won 30 official matches and 6 Tier 1 trophies in a row. A team so good that when you try to compare them to any other teams in history, only a few come to mind. Vitality literally means by definition the state of being strong and active. And that hasn't always been the case. This roster has had its ups and downs and even found success poaching some of the best players in the world. But for now, 2 Frenchmen lead this squad with passion and a lot of gums. It's hard to hate this team. Every player here has been through it. Watching them come together has been a joy. I'd argue they've become so great because they got rid of one ideology that was holding them back: racism.
How I'm going to define racism. Do these teams speak the same language that is not English? They're not racist if they're European speaking English, okay? That's what we're looking for. Or every region to have a team where they're speaking the same language.
The Mongols, my favorite team in recent history. Mongolia first showed what they could do during the 2022 Antwerp Major when they came out of the Asia RMR guns blazing. At the time, they were IHC, and since then, Techno and Blitz have transitioned and become a part of the Mongols in what they are today. These guys are unbelievably fun to watch, unwavering in the face of other Tier 1 opponents with an aggressive and extremely smart playstyle that is just pure firepower. Not to mention Blitz, their IGL, literally a chess grandmaster, and is leading his team to victory and to the top 5 in HLTV's rankings. Although that isn't without their flaws, this team is commonly referred to as group stage merchants, meaning they destroy in the group stages, but once they get to playoffs, they can't do anything. While they are currently at the top of Counter-Strike, they still somehow feel like the underdogs, and this is proven in IEM Dallas when the American crowd started rooting for them during the grand final and they weren't even playing.
Mr. Xantares.
Yeah. Let's go to another team that capitalizes on racism, Aurora, formerly Eternal Fire, and before that, kind of just Xantares and whoever he was dragging around. The undisputed pride of Turkey, these guys are powered by online beef and everybody in the arena rooting against them. These arenas were so one-sided that Xantares had to put out a tweet begging Turkish fans to show up to their games. This team got here through sheer willpower and the collective rage of all Turkish HLTV users and FaZe players. Xantares peak? Legendary. Walk 6 Sense? Questionable, but it works. They've been in and out of Tier 1 more times than I can count. But those boos they're getting in the arena are fueling them like a black monster.
Duncan, you got a problem?
Okay, do you like the taste of that black monster?
MOUZ is a team that makes just as many waves through the community, but without the racism and more Twitter porn. Jimmy is so busy gooning on the timeline that his opponents aren't ready for when he destroys them on the server. This team is a culmination of the MOUZ NXT 2022 to 2023 roster and great players who were screwed by their old orgs. Needless to say, these guys have a chip on their shoulder and they're ready to prove themselves in this new era of Counter-Strike. Of course, if Vitality actually allows it. They're a great example of an international team that didn't develop like a botched circumcision. Now, not all international teams can develop just as well as Vitality and MOUZ, but if you're wondering, man, I hope he covers my favorite team, but your team looks like any of these internationally mangled wieners and science experiments, I'm afraid you're out of luck.
Oh, I'm flat. Oh my fucking god!
FaZe. FaZe is my favorite ongoing car crash that just never ends. Even after snatching the Intel Grand Slam and hoarding Tier 1 trophies like their Pokemon and CSGO, this team has reverted to their same old timeline that's tried and true. It's a collection of washed superstars clinging to past glories like it's a retro nostalgia tour. From unbeatable to unavailable, this org simply cannot piece it together. No matter how many times their 35-year-old IGL with a master's degree top frags against kids half his age. This team is so desperate that they currently have Simple on loan to spark something in their current roster.
You're actually terrible. I thought you said you've been playing a lot.
I have, but I'm so bad.
Listen, they've been one of my favorite teams since they saved Twist from the burning wreckage of Liquid's Grand Slam squad. And despite all the drama, the inconsistency, and Kerrigan calling strats from the nursing home, I'm still here to support them. Because if FaZe can't make you laugh, cry, and scream at your monitor at the end of the round, then you're not really watching Tier 1 Counter-Strike.
Why you bully me? You fucking bitch, why you bully me? Everyone asking.
NAVI is one of the most storied and winningest teams to still exist in their modern era. They ignited a powerhouse roster during the COVID era with the likes of Simple, Electronic, Perfecto, Boomich, and Bit. For about a year, these guys seemed unstoppable, especially on Nuke, where they had a 20-match win streak. Simple was in peak form, Boomich was blossoming as an IGL, and Bit, who's brought up from Navi Jr., looked like he's been playing pro since the launch of 1.6. The downfall of that roster was brought about by a slight cocaine addiction and a failed marriage.
My girlfriend right now in Moscow, she's watching this, and I want to ask one question. Will you marry me, Lika?
Poor Boomich was dropped from the squad and it fell apart from there. But not to worry, Boomich is back in business with Bet Boom, ironically enough, and he's looking better than ever. During the launch of CS2, NAVI transitioned into a Frankenstein international team, recruiting all the players they could from underdog teams in the 2023 Paris Major, with players like Alexi B, Ema, Wonderful, and every streamer's GOAT, JL. They ended up keeping Bit from the original roster, and Simple actually went on a hiatus due to not liking how CS2 felt at the time. Funnily enough, after Simple left, this team went on to win the 2024 Copenhagen Major in the very first major of CS2 in a true Cinderella run. The roster stays the same until this day, and they're trying to rekindle that same magic this year.
Apex feels the wrath of the Donk Deeg.
Spirit has always almost seemed like Navi's little brother, the number 2 or even number 3 team in Eastern Europe after Gambit went on that run during the COVID era. Their IGL Chopper has always been the scapegoat for years, everybody in the media blaming him for their failures. But everything changed when they found a kid from rural Russia playing on 100 ping to the nearest server, Donk. This 18-year-old revived the entire team. Shit, he was so good, Shiro left his team with Cloud9 just to play with Donk. The kid is a walking highlight reel. No matter what he does and no matter how big his forehead looks in his HLTV picture, he's always putting up highlights and they're always going to sneak their way onto your feed.
Like the whole point is, winning the round before the bomb explodes. So let's try to do this.
G2 is what happens when Saudi oil money hits your roster like a pipe bomb. They went from a tournament-winning super team to watching Falcons steal their 2 best players, Nico and MONOZ. This org has seen everything in its long history, from a French era to an international era to the Hooksy meme era, arguably my favorite.
Well, what makes you think you would be better IGL than me?
Shut the fuck up, Nico.
You're hired. They've always been fun to watch, but unless something magical happens, I don't see them pulling through with this current roster. With those key team members gone, they've lost a lot of firepower. MOUZ has seen a drop-off lately while having promising results early on, and while Heavy God is a great player, it's just not fair to compare him to the likes of the powerhouse players like MONOZ and Nico. Speaking of Saudi oil money, the Falcons, the team funded by it all, this org has tried everything very similarly to G2, but in a much shorter amount of time. They had a French roster, and then they stole the entire ENCE roster, and then at one point they took half of Denmark's greats. After that, they got Nico, and then MONOZ, each signing paid for with enough oil money to fill Dust 2 with Lamborghinis, but this lineup could work. They have already proved themselves with great performances, and even took Train off of Vitality in Dallas with a 13-6 scoreline. With this new lineup, they're a highlight reel waiting to happen, whether it's for them or against them.
A disappointing.
And now we come to the pride of my homeland, the United States, Team Liquid, the American, or I guess Canadian, but Polish. Anyways, whatever they are now, Liquid used to be the epitome of NACS, and now they are just a ghost of it. A Grand Slam winner, a near major champ, until, a Brazilian invented aerial assassinations just to dunk on their dreams.
There's Cold. Oh, what? A jumping double for Cold!
Since then, it's been roster roulette. Liquid feels like an org that watched 3 YouTube montages and made roster decisions in a group chat. The current lineup, it's fine, but Liquid is always one bizarre signing away from disaster. One day it's a promising rifler, the next day it's a no-name face-it Estonian 16-year-old opper who doesn't even speak English. I've loved this team for years, and they were the last hope of North America. But if Liquid makes one more brain-dead roster move, I might have to fly to LA myself and just unplug the whole operation.